Hello! Okay, so today's request was to see the Kingfisher versus the Vixen, so figured we needed some Phantasma music in the background. So, yeah, both pretty similar, kind of janky lightweights. The Kingfisher's got a pretty decent amount of output, especially when it comes to Formula Front. The Vixen is fast, but otherwise kind of flimsy, other than its arms. It's actually weird, because it's one of these cases where it basically makes up all of its defense in its arms. Let me turn it down a little bit. It's weird because, yeah, the core has almost nothing, the head has a little bit, the legs are pretty flimsy, but, yeah, those arms have the most insane friggin' defense in the game as far as I'm concerned. Personally, I think this has to go to the Kingfisher. The one thing the Vixen has is maneuverability. So if it can maneuver around, well, you know what? Then Stinger might take this. It's actually a little bit funny that for a reoccurring boss AC, his AC is kind of a joke. That's mostly because the dragon is a bit of a piece of crap in the later games. But I recall it being actually pretty decent in Phantasma. I'm actually not entirely sure what the full story was. I know that with his AC, it's supposed to be a basically a repurposed model of one of the sort of partway between, and it wasn't really an MT, it wasn't really an AC, it was kind of, I guess, a mass-produced standard AC kind of thing that was a bit smaller. Except it's apparently supposed to be a variant of that. I remember looking over the wiki out of curiosity one day. He's basically this is a completely different model, just happens to look identical to the other one, you know, for reasons. But alright, looks like the Kingfisher's winning it so far. Despite some ambushes and decent maneuvering from Stinger's part, he's not doing them. Well, he's not really catching up. That dragon is not putting out the kind of damage that you'd want here. And apparently he's going to sit there and take some hits, because who knows. But yeah, I think this pretty solidly has to go to him. There is a chance that he can catch up on a more open map, so see how that goes. Ow! It can't do that as soon as I start this, you always have to do that. And the cat suddenly just, like, jumped up, smacked my desk, and stabbed me in the leg. Okay, I just gotta mess with you for no reason. But yeah, Stinger really looks freaking cool, though. All things considered. Just when it comes to the sheer damage output that's coming out of the Kingfisher here, I don't think he's going to stand much of a chance. Despite Kingfisher being a really low rank, he's actually a pretty solid AC. Like, he's a little bit janky in terms of his normal version. Not fantastic as far as energy. I mean, Sound Line is pretty forgiving, so that's kind of what it runs off of, but as far as keeping all these weapons operating, it doesn't really function without its optionals. Thankfully, I believe this is the rock, or the rock one, I don't know. Either way, it's one of the rocks. It's pretty good as far as drain goes, you just can't always keep it up with his EOs. But when he's firing all three, it's pretty insane. Right. This is Stinger's one chance to catch up here. Personally, I really like the dragon as an offhand weapon. Like, I think mixed with the machine gun and stuff like that, it's decent. But honestly, it's one of those things that you really just put in place because you didn't have enough weight to put something else on there. But it is what it is. That's not too bad. Oh, and now this thing says the word. Basically, I had the media player go and launch the music for Phantasma ages ago. And apparently it decided no, it's going to wait like half an hour to actually launch the thing, by which point I just basically went to a random OST video on YouTube. And yeah, it just decides to come up with a completely different song instead. Randomly get a copy strike for it turning on St. Elmo's Fire. Oh well, so there we go, another one to the Kingfisher. Yeah, sorry, there, Stinger, you're cool, but you're not very effective. Actually, there's one that I wanted to fight right after this as kind of a joke. There's one guy that I think both Stinger and possibly even the Cardboard AC can potentially beat. So that's what we're going to be doing, Stinger and Cardboard AC versus Robotnik. Oh man. Oh, that is beautiful. Tearing right through him. Come on, Stinger, use all your edges. Dodge or something, I don't know. If you weren't such a friggin' edgelord over here, you'd actually be doing something effective, but no. More concerned about having all our spikes and edges and stuff. Could have two blades coming out of that thing. You know, don't bother making even one of them good, but whatever. I remember this Phantasmal one being insane. But this version's trash. Both of the weapons are kind of trash. I think they just didn't want to have people doing cosplay builds or something. Or maybe they just wanted to make him seem more impressive. I'm not sure. But I think it's pretty safe to call this one right here. 'Cause I'm pretty sure Stinger's goose is cooked. So yeah, let me know if you like the different music in the background as opposed to the usual Formula Front stuff. Got a little tired of hearing it after, I think this is like part 118. This is not even counting tests, so... Either way, there you go. This one goes to the Kingfisher. Unfortunately, the Stinger did not quite hold up. And, yeah, I'll be back next time with another thing.